Hello all, I'm Dr. Ravi Shankar. I'm a professor of computer science, School of Computer Science in MITS. Mm, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about a concept called light fidelity. What exactly is a light fidelity? How does it change the way we work in the future is something is of importance to us. So we will see what exactly it is. Before actually going into what exactly it is, let us see what exactly are the current technologies, because this whole thing is about internet and data communication. Okay. Now, when we look at our today's internet, what exactly is there? First of all, we have the electromagnetic waves or the radio waves which we use for data communication. This is the most frequently used or almost omnipresent. This there is a bandwidth of 3 kilohertz to 1 gigahertz for the what do you call this radio waves. So your internet actually is between 3 kilohertz and 1 gigahertz. So by a benchmark, you get 1 Gbps data rate in the internet today. The second kind of communication there is the in the communication media we have the microwaves. So these microwaves are between 1 gigahertz and 300 gigahertz. Now remember, 300 gigahertz of the spectrum is available for the microwave. So we can communicate, we can facilitate data communication, but the problem with microwaves is they are unidirectional, first thing. Second thing is we need line of sight. Without a line of sight, the communication cannot happen in microwaves. Now, when a moving object, if it is to access or communicate with another machine or object, this line of sight becomes a big handicap for this data communication. So obviously microwaves are not suitable for internet. And we have 300 gigahertz to 400 terahertz. In that spectrum, we have the infrared waves. Huge spectrum. But the problem with infrared is what? Very short wavelength, point to point communication, and it cannot penetrate any obstruction like walls or anything like that. And in addition to that, if you take this object to outside world, if you go out into the open spaces, the light also sometimes obstructs the data communication. So infrared and microwave are not suitable, and my radio waves or electromagnetic waves are limiting it to 1 Gbps. Now, age old days, we used to see over the telephone line 64 kilobits per second data rate, and on that we used to access the internet. Now what happened? We have 300 megahertz, 300 what do you call megahertz or 300 Mbps data rate is there, and even that is in today's rate insufficient. Over a period of time, we need much higher bandwidth for data communication, particularly when the smart homes and smart cities, when they become a reality, the bandwidth available is grossly insufficient. Under these circumstances, a new technology and a new paradigm for data communication is required. That's exactly where we see something called light fidelity. What happens in light fidelity? In light fidelity, data is communicated in the form of light. So, when it is communicated in the form of light, we have huge bandwidth available for it. Where exactly is that bandwidth available for it? It is available from 400 terahertz to 700 terahertz of, or up to 800 terahertz of spectrum is there. That spectrum can be used for data communication. That means we are going to think about 300 Gbps, 400 Gbps of data. Now that's a huge this thing. At least it's going to be sufficient for the next 40-50 years. data communication. So how exactly this works? What happens is, our in our home there will be an LED bulb, and that LED bulb used to transmit data. How actually it is used to transmit data, we'll come to that in this thing. So visible light technology is the technology that is used to deliver high data rate. And now it is not any wild idea. Actually, it is, IEEE 802.15.7 standard, what do you call, gives you the short range wireless optical communication protocol, as well as rules, systems, etc., etc. Just like your 802.3, 802.4, 802.5 technologies like the IBM token ring, token bus, etc. This also is a what you call IEEE standard. That means already in IEEE has finalized this standard, and it is going to come into what you call existence very shortly. That means the technology is already thought about comprehensively. Okay. Now what happens here? Generally, what happens is your LED bulb is a semiconductor device. Now, when a LED bulb is a semiconductor device, it keeps on what you call emitting a stream of photons from the bulb, okay, and that is your light. Now, since LED bulb is a semiconductor device, the brightness of this LED bulb can be changed very rapidly. So, I can sometimes increase the brightness of the LED bulb, and I can decrease the brightness of the LED bulb. I can fluctuate without visible perception to the user. So, then what happens is that higher brightness can be considered as a 1, slightly lower brightness can be considered as a 0. So now I'm going to what you call communicate with, or I'm actually transmitting data in the zeros and ones. All you need now is the other side, whichever part is actually reading this light, it can read those fluctuations or it can read those modulations, then it is going to read the data. So this is exactly what happens in the Li-Fi technology. If we look at this, this picture gives you a almost like a complete idea about this. Now you have a power line, an optical fiber line coming into your house, and if you look at this, those bulbs are connected through that optical line. Now, when that optical line is there, obviously, that optical line will have a small transmitter receiver connected to the LED bulb. So, each LED bulb, above the LED bulb, will have a transmitter and receiver connected, and below that, LED bulb will be there. So, each bulb will be now a Wi-Fi, like just like a Wi-Fi access point. Each bulb is like a Wi-Fi access point. Now what happens? Anybody who sits anywhere nearer to the light with a device which also has a transmitter and receiver, whatever that bulb is transmitting, the receiver can receive, and whatever this device transmits, that bulb's receiver can receive. So that's exactly where the this Li-Fi technology, that's how it works. Okay. Now if you look at this from outside world, when the data come inside, there is an LED lamp. Before that, there is an LED driver and an LED modem, and under that LED bulb, whoever sits, it need not be exactly under the bulb, anywhere with a line of sight. If they can sit, they will be able to access the internet, because that light will not be exactly straight line or anything like that. It reflects in all directions. So obviously this is going to be a much what do you call better technology than Wi-Fi. Okay. Now look at it. If you look at this, there is a light above, and then a receiving device, a cell phone or a tablet or a computer, whatever it is, it has two parts, a transmitter and a receiver. When the data is transmitted, this what do you call transmitter again will generate light in modulated signals and send it. And the bulb, above the bulb, a receiver will be there. That receiver will receive the data and send it back. And when that data comes from outside world, that bulb's transmitter will transmit the data, and the receiver on the receiver side will receive the data. So it is going to be a two-way communication, and the data communication happens, understand, at much higher like 400 terahertz to 800 terahertz is a huge spectrum. And at that stage, at that rate, you don't have a problem with the bandwidth hungry applications. If you are using a video or an online video, online audio, you need continuous uninterrupted data, and that is no longer feasible in our what you call regular Wi-Fi. So you need a new technology, better technology. So that's exactly where the Li-Fi comes in. Okay. Now, what are the advantages? First advantage is efficiency. Second is major advantage is high speed. The third one is availability. All the time your internet available, because as long as your light is on, you can start communicating. Now, just like infrared rays, this Li-Fi technology also cannot penetrate a wall. Now, whatever disadvantage this Li-Fi technology faces, our infrared technology faces, Li-Fi also faces. So, obviously, unless you are in the line of sight with a transmitting device, you will not be able to access internet. Now, that's a major disadvantage, yes, but at the same time, you have a lot of security, because whatever you are communicating inside a room will not be leaked outside. So, hackers will not be able to access your data communication, because from your what do you call transmitter, it goes to the receiver in your bulb, and from there it goes through a fiber optic cable and it goes to the other side. So, no way an eavesdropper can access this data. So, that is one major advantage we have in the mm, Li-Fi technology. Obviously, there are limitations. Internet cannot be accessed without a light. If power is gone, of course, power is gone, internet also will go off. But without a light, you will not be able to access internet. And then, as I said, you need a perfect line of sight or near perfect line of sight, and it cannot penetrate through this. And sometimes natural light may obstruct. Okay, so only thing is, it is still under experimentation stage. Mass scale adoption is not yet happening. Okay, and then where are the applications? Applications are unbounded, like everywhere, education system, medical applications, particularly when what do you call medical applications, where people can people, when they are operating with robotic arms for surgery, people can sit anywhere in their home and start operating on the patient in the operation theater. So you need huge bandwidth, you need uninterrupted without any what do you call latency, you need data communication. In otherwise, what happens, if inside the patient's body, that robotic arm may do anything. So you need what do you call absolutely zero latency, and that zero latency is feasible only through the Wi-Fi technology. Existing Wi-Fi technology over a period of time will not be able to fit. And then applications in sensitive areas, traffic management. Now the applications are, and one more interesting feature is the cheaper internet in the aircrafts. In the aircraft, we can use this, because in aircraft, all bulbs will be always on. You can start communicating with the outside world. And then it is not yet a fiction. It is, if anybody want to verify what exactly is happening, go to this website purelifi.com. This Pure Li-Fi Corporation is the company or organization which is actually doing a lot of research and trying to make this uh, a reality, bring it to a reality. Okay, and thank you for your patient listening. I'm Dr. Ravi Shankar.